The following may include subject matters of war, violence, loss, and adult themes which may not be appropriate for all audiences. Viewer discretion advised. Previously on Darkeport. Episode 49. Silk. Grip and beloved Tricely, spiritual head of the Death Tamers, at last have time and space for a long, uninterrupted conversation. Although they cover many topics, perhaps the most important is that they now are somehow sharing chosen essence with one another in an ongoing dynamic. Said differently, their souls are literally touching one another and in the act of intertwining. Grip benefits from this by becoming tougher mentally, tapping into Tricely's enormous well of inner strength. Triss, in turn, feels Grip's physical prowess and resilience within them, granting a measure of peace and sense of safety heretofore unknown. During the all-night encounter, Triss introduces Grip to Mohinder, a baby green dragon. Through his presence, Grip calms Mohinder enough that the hatchling isn't hostile. This surprises Tricely, as the tiny dragon doesn't like men. Eventually, Grip and Triss enter into a shared trance, opening themselves mentally and emotionally to the other via a profound kind of mind speak. Come dawn, Grip witnesses the daily ritual of the Death Tamers. He struggles to keep himself in check as Tricely is flogged with an enchanted flaming whip. At the climax of the ritual, Triss beseeches Grip to finish it by taking up the scourge himself. Nearly in an altered state of consciousness, Grip does as his twined soul asks, whipping Tricely. In that moment, the beloved cries out, their own chosen essence quickening just as Grip's did the day before upon laying eyes on them. Mitra reveals another facet of herself during the dawn ritual. She both attends the beloved as well as carrying one of the Death Tamer's artifacts. Afterward, she uses this artifact, an orb named Abeyance, to heal Tricely nigh completely. Titus arrives with the rest of the Fellowship, and the mutual defense pact between the Defenders of the Dream and the Death Tamers is sealed. Tricely then asks Titus if their faction might use the raw material of the city's fallen to add to their undead army. The Lord of Juramentum refuses, calmly yet firmly. Before his party leaves, Grip receives a final image from the beloved, a thick thread of interwoven silk, impossible to pull apart, yet effortlessly folded from the sides. On the way back to the city, the Fellowship pauses to investigate the spot at which Devran was very nearly murdered. They discern several clues, confirming that his attacker was both physically small and enormously strong. They finish the discussion inside Figulus Naeus' hut at Titus's direction, as he doesn't want the group to be overheard by whomever or whatever assaulted Devran the night before. Wesa then floats the idea of the young lord acting as bait to draw Megara out from the shadows. The Fellowship must reckon with the fact that this determined, demented, chosen woman and would-be priestess of a new god isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
and go grab it.
Yay!
That's live television for you, friends.
Our candlestick makers.
We have to bring justice back to Juramentum here. Welcome. You have found yourself once again at the Port of Dark. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We have our sister stream, always, walking beside us, Constructed Chaos. Thank you, Alex, Morgan, the rest of the Chaos crew. Hopefully you can muck with Alex in the chat. As such, they stream typically tomorrow on Wednesdays, same time, 1900 or 7 p.m. for the rest of you people. Okay, we also have a little
Shop of Many Things. Yes, they have a shop that have all sorts of really cool D&D trinkets. Everything from a floating dice that you can mess up like that.
Formerly floating dice. Not allowed to touch it, I guess.
Negative, yes.
Somebody gets the cool thing.
And you can't roll it, and I got to roll it last session to markers for...
Start slapping him.
You're the one who said it between us.
Uncle Flexes.
You knew what you were
two
signing up
kids
for.
right here, guys. No, really.
I do not typically,
Hi, everybody.
I do not typically recommend physical violence at the table, but there are some limits. All right.
No, they
for me to
got
do.
puzzles. They got all sorts of really cool things. Just check it out. I don't want to go into a ton of detail, but really check out Shop of Many Things. Really cool things that you can do to make your game really interesting. GMs especially. Again, Shop of Many Things would be awesome.
Link in the video description.
There you go.
100%.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's the way of it. Okay, and we have so many things in motion right now. We're going to be doing a little proto testing afterward to see. We may or may not be working on some bonus content. We'll see how that goes. But so we will be out with something soon. I think I can. Yes, I have. I got a yes from everybody. So on April 22nd, Donnie, you are not going to be able to be here.
In Orlando.
There are some times where I'm okay NPCing Titus. That is not going to be that episode for many, many reasons. So instead, I anticipate, if all goes well, we should have a first on Darkeport. We will have our first Royal Rumble, and we're going to have the three of the Curse of Strahd characters, players and characters from the streaming game. I think most of our long-term viewers will already know that I'm running a home game of Curse of Strahd, which Randy is playing in. So he will be on the opposing side, and they will each be fighting. The three characters are all each other's counterparts in that respective timeline.
The Shadow Realm.
That should be really fun.
Strahd v. Strahd. Smackdown.
It's gonna be a little crazy. And Sydney, thank you so much for volunteering your brilliance to be the producer for that evening.
Honestly, it'd be my honor.
It can happen.
I cannot wait.
Place your bets now. I'm trying to get some of the other members from the home game to jump in the chat. So yeah, you guys can talk smack with each other. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
You can bet on it. FanDuel.com. Yeah.
Right.
Get your phone fingers ready, folks.
I may be dating myself. Is that a thing? If that's not a thing, it should be a thing. It absolutely is. Okay, well, there you go.
I'll be running the odds.
Okay. I don't even know if that's legal, so, but it's out there in the ether now.
It's definitely not legal.
So,
All right.
with that being said, let's get to our Candle of Tales, eh?
The Candle of Tales. All right, great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Chilling.
So we at the table have decided amongst ourselves that we are going to hold our journal entry from you to see, so you can be excited about it at every single time it plays. Today's journal entry will be brought to you by myself as Marcus of Juramentum.
And the next one. And next week it's going to be, we just immediately ruin the surprise.
I immediately let you know.
Who has it a week after that? Tobia, yeah. Oh, man, I'm sorry, guys.
Sweet way, but I am tired. I expected a lot of things when we came back to Juramentum, but a marathon of highs and lows with no time to sleep was not one of them. I mean, just in the time we have been back, I nearly lost me wife, nearly lost me son, got engaged, a dressing down by a foreign noble and taught us his lady love, met me predecessor and quickened, met two new gods, albeit indirectly, and potentially lost support me sister and brother. And just when I was about to claim a blissful knot next to the woman of me dreams, a summons from me friend and lady Livia. Ain't willing to ignore that. With luck, this won't be long, but I'm feeling it's going to be heavy. I worry about Loyatar and her presence on the Lady in the State, but I do not sense nefarious intent from Trisley or Mitra for that matter, so I'm inclined to offer counter counsel as needed and continue being who I have always been with her, a friend. Meg and the bouncing baby blood god are a thing we ain't got nothing to do about right now, but we will. We'll deal with that when we get home. Hopefully victoriously, but largely with words like idolater, heretic, and treason nipping at our heels like those evil dogs Rolf is fond of. Tway is with us, and that shows me that we are on a righteous path. But sweet light, I ain't ever been so afraid.
Oh, yeah. So a total of things happened to Marcus. 7.
Are you keeping? You're keeping score.
Yeah, I was keeping score. 7 within
I
like
have to go to the
48
bathroom
hours.
so bad.
Within 48 hours, that man is exhausted.
And you haven't even had a meal yet.
Yeah.
I should also have said that congratulations, Grip.
Woo!
MVP.
Somebody likes you.
Like a lot of people,
Several
and like
people.
everybody.
Actually.
You kind of swept it.
Very kind. Well, it helps when your big dumb face dominates the screen for half the episode.
It's only your big dumb face.
Don't talk about me.
Don't talk about Trissy like that.
All right, y'all. You get summoned into the presence of the undisputed Lady of Juramentum. As soon as you walk into the room, no. You go to her room, see that's empty. The only other place that she would receive you. Good sign, bad sign, you're not sure, but her office.
And on over there.
Okay.
Take a deep breath before I in the door, compose myself. Because I actually haven't seen her. Well, no, I did when I calmed her emotions. That's right.
Technically, yes, that barely counts.
Yeah. I knock on the door. Hey, it's me.
Good. Come.
Come on in. Bow to her deeply. But I just focus on her eyes.
Aye. And there were two. This is how the state that it is now. There were two determined but tiny Kithki outside acting as guards.
I smile on both. Summoned.
They're taking their positions very seriously, and they kind of try to scowl at you, all 40 pounds of them. And then one of them reaches up to open the door, slaps beneath a good deal beneath the handle, and the kind of grabs, and then finally turns it,
Adorable.
pushes it back.
I love that.
Shout out to Kithki.
Oh.
Lady.
Blessed morn, Marcus.
Blessed morn, lady.
You first.
I have an idea of a way that you can be with us in strength and truth. There is a gift that Tway gives us that lasts for the majority of a day, that bolsters you, puts strength back into your back, allows you to move through into these negotiations if you wish to be there.
It has very little to do with wishing, Marcus.
It doesn't, but it gives an opportunity for you to do that, to show the world that this won't keep you down. It can't keep you down. May I do something, please?
No.
Very well.
My lady mother was overly fond. No. She was terminally fond of milk of the poppy. And I think back to the blessed surcease that even my fevered mind remembers you giving me. And it has already taken all the strength within my soul to not peg you. So the answer is now, and always will be, no. Else I will no longer be myself. That is the end of that.
He knows.
She's sweating now. You see how pale she is, how drawn, how gaunt. Without any of that, just enormous vitality of the Vorn, of these rustic patricians out here. And you remember her, she was able to kill one of her attackers before, you still don't know how. You are the best strategist amongst the Fellowship. In time, Lisa will probably be thy equal, if she is able to continue to push past her own pain, her own hells, and expand her mind. But right now, I cannot wait against some future crop. It must be what I can harvest in the moment. My brother is doing his best to be read in, but he is now the goddess's chosen champion, her Bellator Sanctus. That means that he will always be beset by one crisis after the next. And so there is only so much that he will be able to absorb. And frankly, he isn't smart enough. So, I am no goddess, obviously. But I, too, move whatever pieces are on the succession board as best I am able, against multiple opponents. Would that I wish thou hadst the secret of the word already, my friend. But there is no time for that either. Pending your survival, I would be more than happy to teach you. With my own will and hand, it would be my honor. You are the goddess's emissary after all, no?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
We have the inveigled Wella Dewshine on her journey. I have my first word back from, well, sort of, from Rutilius. There is still a priestess who is waiting. So, should you try to get my brother to find this priestess? Her name is Zanea. She has a guardian, Azel. He's either chosen or enormously skilled. They are perhaps lovers, but more importantly a paired unit. She has been waiting. I assume she has not made herself known whilst the Death Hamers claim center stage.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Earlet way. She will wait. Perhaps until you are just about to board that ship. She may have disguised herself, but she will be seeking my brother. I know this because she has already correctly through indirect means sought me. I was not fit. I have failed in that capacity, making his job more difficult. So there we are. She no doubt has news of the Seneschal's failure or success. I need not remind thee that Seneschal Rutilius set off some time ago, and we have our answer one way or the other. Beyond that, what pieces does my degraded mind need to set in motion? It is humiliating that I have to ask thee in the first place. But again, as my favorite person who used to share this office with me would say, there we are.
Aye. Well, then I spend time filling her in about Meg.
Okay.
Detail it out, everything that I said.
And you see that right singed eye, she just keeps flinching and twitching. That isn't the GM just developing a nervous tick. It's the character, I promise.
I want to do that in character instead.
No, that's fine. So you get her up in Meg. Essentially, you tell her about the crazed, significantly chosen deep into her career, would-be priestess of this supposedly new god, the Blood Sun, who is hot to trot to have Congress with Titus, and there's been much speculation about what happens from there, but she is intent on that.
She is interested in this pool. I don't think we can keep anybody there. I think we have to keep someone there, or she will just have an open run to it.
If she's as strong as you say, Marcus, she would slaughter whoever.
Yes.
We have to connive to make the Death Tamers be our unwitting or witting barrier.
I was hoping that because they'd been there already, that they would just stay and keep there, basically acting as variant. But I don't know if that's going to happen.
Do what you need to convince Titus that it's a good idea.
Understood.
I can't. I won't. Then, what else? What other pieces? Swiftly.
We got the... Devran was nearly killed. It's a brother. You already know about that.
Yes.
We know about the Blood God, Blood Baby, the Trisley people.
I'm sorry, I wasn't clear on my instruction.
Sorry.
I meant to say... What in future? What is the next resource that I need to reach for, write to, send a subordinate out to while you're gone? 5 days there, perhaps. 2 days, 3 days, 5 days negotiations, 5 days back, assuming you survive. Of course they'll attempt to kill you while you're there, you understand this.
I do.
Then it will probably be Gladius Lux if you're lucky. If you're unlucky, they will all be colluded, and you're walking into an ambush. But that is a chance we must take, or they will decide that we have forfeited the entire thing, and that will be their Bellas Caustus, and they will be up in force. And we still don't have enough time. We need more time. So, the next resource.
We got back from them. The people to the north. Barbarians. Do we have a chance to get to them?
Bella's on her way.
Fair enough.
I had thought Marius from Memoria. Their one chosen leader. I don't know if news of death of the old lion has reached me yet.
And there's nothing to the east of us that we can reach out to, aside from Zaha, and that's just not happening.
No.
No.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Quite the contrary. But that is an account that will have to be balanced and settled in the future.
And it will be. I can't think of anybody at this moment who we can look to for the moment. I need more information from it.
If it
brings back.
If it does, have Wesa write it down. And in either, actually, I would prefer it in Valpyri. I've learned enough to read it, if not to pronounce it. She can write it to me. It's less dangerous that way if it's intercepted. And then have whatever choreo you need.
There is one more thing about this. Every part of me is screaming that Jerem is important, much more than he really thinks to be.
Who?
Jerem.
The baby.
Baby. Every part of me is screaming of that right now. And the first thing that comes to mind is it is a child of the blood, like the blood child, that was given an opportunity to grow up in a loving household instead of a wretched one. I don't know enough, though. But every part of me, something is happening with that child.
I would be a fool to dismiss thy instincts, Marcus. In that case... I will come up with a reason, or you will. I abhor maneuvering my own flesh and blood this way, but I just don't have time.
I understand.
Nor strength. We will come up with a reason why he needs to stay with the touch gems then. Inside the compound.
And listen till we know for sure.
It's safer there. Clearly the keep has been...
compromised.
Yes. Yeah, this precious few coin that I wrung this out of, and that was her getting into a locked drawer, but I wrung this out of Master Trader's Philotimus's ample hide, and almost contemptuously she throws it to you. Use that to bribe or hire whatever choreos you need, if you need it. If not, keep it and put it to some other use. I've written it off as expended in the ledger.
Quantity in here?
Enough.
Understood. Can I do anything for you out there? Something that you need from a distance?
Yes. Yes, you probably can.
I'm your servant.
Live.
I'll do everything I can to make that happen.
I would like to get to know Wace's twin.
We've adopted him for the nonce. He's part of our family.
I would like him to survive, too.
That's what I...
Make a persuasion check. And there is this long equivalent to
15.
For the time it's taking you to roll, pause. 15, okay. Last night, I was visited by a woman, a maiden, wreathed in flaming thorns. She spoke with, although her voice was hardly above a whisper, an undeniable majesty. That conversation has given me the strength to get up out of my bed today. And to tell myself, just today, Livia, just get up today and let the moral sort itself out. And so I will go to sleep, Marcus. And when I waken, quaileth unwilling, with dawn, I will tell myself again, just today. Dismissed.
Bow deeply again, my lady. Live.
Who's next? So you rejoin them. Sorry, guys. You rejoin them. Everything happens the way that it was. And whoever would be next.
When we left off last week,
Actually, yeah.
we'd presented the
Stone.
necromancer's
Yes.
And
Yes, the stone.
The stone.
Titus, you remind me who were you keeping that on? You were keeping that on your person, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That was the last thing I remembered.
Yes.
So,
And so I made mention of it. Titus brought it out, and Sydney, as Mitra asked what first impressions were, and you said, "Well, we'll get to that next session."
that's right. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, okay.
So, are you passing that off to? Are you passing that off to Mitra, or are you examining it first?
You just set it down
I
on the
set
table.
it down on the table.
Okay, so it's whoever
Whoever would touch it.
It's open. Okay, fair enough. So you are in this, to remind our faraway friends, you are in this cramped hoarder's paradise of hides, herbs hanging from the rafters, so the taller characters are smacking into them. Tinctures, bone-carved vials, glasswork, and broken down, kind of crappy, moldy furniture. And it's with all of y'all in here, it's cozy.
And Titus had just suggested that Grip might peruse and claim his heritage. So
I did.
in that spirit, I would activate the arcane eye with, and I would, while Mitra is considering the necromancer stone, I would
Okay.
Wandering the orb, if you will.
wander.
The orbs.
Ordering, that's true. This isn't a skill, quote unquote, in 5th edition, but I think it is completely appropriate for your character to have proficiency in necromantic artifacts. I feel like, is that on brand? Yeah. Okay. Okay.
A whole culture of necromancers. Yeah, sure.
So go ahead.
Maybe.
So go ahead and make a note of that. As you're peering around with your arcane eye, Grip, you're seeing not as much perhaps as you had hoped, but more than you had feared. So there is a little bit of activity around some of the potions, but it looks like it's like whatever weave was going on, whatever empowerment action was going on over there has already dissipated with the lack of intent. And these are basically just the gossamer threads left over. So faded now that they're not even really a distinctive color. They're just kind of suggestions of mana threads that are trailing. However, when you look at Figulus Naeus's infamous easy chair, which doesn't exist in this world, but he made it. And the lazy boy.
Shout out.
With the
Leftist boy recliner.
And it has so he was not a large person. I think you knew that already. He was not physically big.
Kind of tiny.
And you see, but where his bony rump was for so many years, it actually had started to stretch the hide a little bit. And he spent, countless hours just sitting there. And the arms are overstuffed and too big. And you see the entire chair has some sort of rippling, spiraling power that goes into reds and golds. The more faded reds, sharper golds, almost orange. So not like the sublime perfection of Tuea's gold, of the goddess's gold, but some sort of man-made facsimile, Figulus-made facsimile, perhaps, of it. Make an Arcana check as you're staring at it and see how well you understand what you're looking at.
Welcome to Figulus's Facsimiles.
Natural 20.
Yay!
That's what I'm talking about, baby!
For a total of
25.
Yeah.
Easy boy connoisseur.
You're not the only one with one
does
eye.
kick
Yeah,
into
this
the
is
stirrup.
Super comfy. Yeah.
Just the one.
Arcane eye.
Okay. You realize three things at the same time. One of them is you're back with Trisley. You're seeing and you understand now that the beautiful colors, the splendor, the joy that was woven through that space was only in Trisley's mind's eye. And that you, at some point, began to share that. Even with your own physical vision.
Very cool.
The other thing is that this is the state that that person lives in all the time, whether they want to or not. And then finally, you look very closely within these pulsating, twisting, somewhat irregular beats. You can see his handiwork. You see the application of an immense will to bending these in the pattern that he wanted. And you think, as absurd as it is, that this overstuffed chair is some sort of artifact.
Wow.
Or at least has been imbued with significant power. And because it's a 25, let's see. These characters don't have the concept of a manhole cover.
Trapdoor?
Trapdoor?
A trapdoor.
Yeah.
A trapdoor. Something, and so you're seeing, for some reason, you're seeing the trapdoor. This wouldn't make any sense, but you're seeing the trapdoor sliding, being slid off instead of being pulled up. And you're watching the way that these webs are moving, and you know that there's no conventional force that could move this chair.
Does he see other magic stuff as well?
He should. What else do you have on you?
A certain book?
Well,
A grimoire?
we were
Maybe or maybe not. I
we
don't
were
know.
asking. That's right, because we were talking about whether or not it was. I think that one is. With the 25, Corey, he probably is going to spot that. Rules is written, he has to be focusing on the thing.
I mean, to be fair,
But-
I'm more looking around the
Yeah.
hut than what is.
I thought he was doing a
Yeah.
full circle, and obviously that caught your eye with the chair.
Right.
But
It did. You know what? Just make a plain Jane perception roll, and see if you catch that out of the periphery. That's fair.
That's a total of 10.
10. Okay. Something flickers off to your. Thanks for keeping it real, Corey.
Yeah.
Something flickers off to you, off to the left. you may or may not, as you choose, dismiss it as just kind of being another one of these little ephemeral threads, because that thing was so maimed that it's more like fumes left over.
I'm sure a glowing sword is taking up some of the room too. Yeah.
And do you look at Concord?
My focus is looking for stuff around the
hut. Okay.
It's a small hut, but yeah.
It is a small hut.
Tiny would say.
I don't know. Donna, you decide as you're picturing this. Is your character within Grip's field of vision, or would he be someplace else as you're picturing it?
I would imagine that we're all kind of standing around the table while you were kind of making your focus changing over, and then by eventually you'd be like, that makes sense, and then you kind of keep going, like, because I'm sure that there's some things. Maybe a ring is also growing.
Yeah, I was actually
The rings, weights,
because
armor.
you were at the table.
I guess the only other thing that would be different is if it was more of an arcana or a faith-based artifact, or the faith-based artifact would
don't
be
worry.
growing separately.
Don't worry, I got.
I was like, but with the 25, I'm pretty sure you're realizing everything around.
Don't worry, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
No, actually, the ring is actually quite subtle, and that perception was not
Waste of stuff.
perception roll. There is a light, like green patina. Again, it's subtle, and you'd have to study it longer. How long does this last? Remind me.
I think it's like
Is it 10 minutes? I think it's 10 minutes.
Arcane Eye?
Yeah.
Got a crown that's in her bag,
I'm pretty sure it's
maybe.
So get back to me.
Yeah, I was like, we need to get something going with that.
The other thing with no pulsing, no coruscating, no anything, just it is. The only difference on Concord, because she is sheathed right now, but you see, that's what I remembered.
Yeah.
You see these golden, perfectly aligned and cross-stitched and hatched both of the eternal gold. And for some reason the word imperial gold comes into your head.
So would it be like when I first looked upon a magical weapon, there is that the flame of mana kind of like bouncing around through it? Would this just be like stacks of that, like
It's a perfected.
crisscrossed? Like, it's like a field of it, not just like.
It's not bouncing, and it is like a perfected. It feels like it's eternity, and you feel like in your bones that sword is going to long outlast everyone in this room.
Yeah, I know that you wouldn't be familiar with it, but like a lightsaber. No, I'm kidding. We don't have those in this world.
Saber of
it's
light.
not- yeah, it's not-
It's from the palm.
Thank
of
you.
light.
Okay. Meanwhile, Mitra, you have you're looking over
Your
this.
eye.
Yeah, my one eye.
With,
My
with the
arcane
one
eye.
Yeah, with your arcane eye. You're looking with your reprieved eye.
You're looking with your dead eye, funny enough.
You're
Your
looking.
necromancer eye.
You're looking over this stone, and it looks like at this point it has quote unquote matured into a very dark, oily looking thing, almost like Quicksilver, but if you made it of shadow instead, and then condensed it.
Like a black mercury.
And it's just sitting there glistening on the tabletop in this stinky, cramped hut.
The disgusting. Is there
A friend used to live here. Gross.
is there a way to figure out? I guess does it have a specific purpose, or is it just kind of like pure energy?
Are you willing to touch it?
I don't know. Grip, get over here. Touch this right now.
He's busy because this is all happening. Unless you want to wait for him, that's fine too.
So we can surely tell you what we have experienced about it.
I'm thinking Tomb of Horrors right now. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll put my hand near it, see if there's any like reaction.
Okay. In that case, make an Arcana check with proficiency if you don't already.
Proficiency.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't a saving throw.
Dead eye.
Yeah.
Not yet.
20.
No, not that one.
7. Yeah, it kind of grows.
All right, you are going to have to go full Monty and open yourself to this and experience it the way that you would advance, if you're willing to do that.
dick out.
Abeyance being the artifact that you are primarily in charge of and responsible for in your camp.
Yep. Okay.
So you know how to do that.
I'm gonna just psych myself up.
Okay.
See Mitra just kind of like bouncing me and still holding the hand out and go, if there is anything that goes wrong with me.
Okay, so you still have your crystal?
Of course.
What did you discover? Or if you know, is touching this going to be good?
Well, that was taking him a while.
Oh, I see.
So this is happening simultaneously. Yeah.
If there's anything that happens to
Mitra.
me, well,
We have a little bit of a history that we can probably communicate to you, but I know it would make more sense if Grip was to do it.
Okay, so are you willing to wait until he's done with his inspection?
It's a couple minutes. It's still going to be here.
Flickers.
Flickers.
Well, I was wondering as if I could imbue it with Tue's light, what would happen? I ain't going to do it because it might be dangerous, but I was curious.
It was a
probably
conversation.
not something good. It is made out of pure shadows and
I can destroy
void.
it.
I don't think that it would have any effect on it.
Looks evil.
We got this set from a hideous man, Devran, on the island that we just returned from.
A death tamer.
Well, it's,
Yes, although not.
Well, her people.
I don't know, actually.
What is his name?
Capio Secundus.
It's not.
Ring a bell?
No, unfamiliar.
Although the name may have been as false as the man himself.
This was his remnants of what he described as someone he loved named Nikolai.
Do I have any familiarity with?
Make a history check.
Yeah, might as well. Let's go with the big boy today.
Yeah.
My favorite. not good, but we'll see. 13?
Something is starting to drift up in your brain about some sort of long-standing rivalry. Two different, someone who was part of the Troupe Valley Death Tamers, someone who was an outside necromancer. But you're gonna have to sit on that one and maybe consult some notes before you can get the full story. But you're like, okay, so Capio Secundus is probably a pseudonym.
Yeah, probably.
Which is common amongst your people, especially when you're traveling.
In an adoring public.
To give false name, indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And he was ugly.
That's my pen
and I
name.
hate him.
That's your pen name?
Yeah.
That's what they call me in high school. Yeah.
I like it. Okay.
Well, I might have to. There are two different cultures of my people that we don't particularly get along.
We tend not to discriminate and or make association without good cause.
All right, Grip. I'm gonna say it's been long enough.
What'd you figure out? Can you make it? I tried to touch it, and then I could see in the dark. And then it kind of took over my mind.
And he started making weird noises. Yes.
That's not entirely out of the norm for Grip, but it was quite terrifying.
Yeah.
Granted.
Lisa had some ability, brought me back. But if that thing could be tamed,
We figured a death tamer might be able to do so.
Sometimes people take things too literally.
We go with the tools that were given, but we know that it was made of malice and hate. I didn't want to destroy it with you at our doorstep, or the beloved, perhaps not knowing its true value for not being familiar to us, this type of magic.
Are you willing to take that risk? It's Waisa speaking, obviously.
Well, I would rather have it happen to me than the rest of you. I'm not but merely an outsider, so what else could I do?
You and
Put her hand towards it again. If it reacts it any certain ways.
It's a slight tingle. But you'll need to open yourself to it.
Will things explode?
Surely not.
No, it may just possess her.
And we've dealt with that before.
She'll.
Lisa discreetly reaches underneath her collar and just seems ready for something.
Everyone moves towards the door.
Away.
He can't get out of, but
That's fair.
lean up against it.
Get me out of here. These people are crazy. She'll
And on Concord on the ready.
Okay.
she'll reach towards it, close her eye, and just will you dark cleanse me? And she'll like touch it.
Okay.
So cool.
Toby, I know I'm
That's
kind
good
of
news.
I know I'm
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
great news, guys.
I know I'm kind of springing this on you, but if you could give us, think about what Capio would have been telling Nikolai, his longtime hated rival, that had nearly killed him on 2 occasions, that he had taken winter after winter after winter to kill and outmaneuver. Think on that. What his parting phrase would have been to the man, and then give it to her.
I spit on your grave.
Okay.
Sounds nice.
Sounds so pleasant.
And you have his grave in your hand as a necromancer trained in the annex of Leptis Regium is slowly reduced down into a sauce.
Oh my god.
And then concentrated and concentrated and concentrated and concentrated to be this thing. Please give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh my favorite.
You can do this.
Why? Okay, another 13.
Another 13.
A second 8 in a row. So
Okay.
yeah, it's
pretty good.
13-ish.
It's a lucky number.
Do I add my proficiency?
Unless if you're in a hotel.
For Darkomatic
I think as a monk, you're already proficient in wisdom, right?
Yes.
Saving throws.
But for
Oh
necromancy.
no,
If not,
it's
you should.
dexterity and strength. Actually.
It's only dexterity and strength.
Yeah.
So you do get that +2. To it, I would say for this. That would
Oh,
apply.
period. Okay, so then that'd be 15.
15. Okay, better. That's better.
Yes, my mind is so large.
That's why the eye popped out.
You-
Make room.
Even with the 15, that's not just a clean success.
Yeah.
So you feel this man's final moments of agony as his brain is literally deliquesced into liquid form, along with the mana infusing it, with Capio Secundus chanting and chanting and chanting.
It's this needful pain.
Who you for the process it is. Stupid pain for the man who lost the stool. And that's the end of him.
Look what happened to him now.
He's a stool sample. All right, hello, folks.
At some time, your hand clamps over it, and you have it. And then there's an icy flame that rips through your veins, and you hear Mitra scream.
Woof, woof.
And how you see 4 corners of this thing. You feel 4 sharp corners of it. How many of those corners do you try to grab?
Ooh, like mentally, physically.
Mentally.
You're gonna. Ooh.
Whereas Abeyance is vast, like this is tiny.
Yeah.
Abeyance is vast. There's no commanding Abeyance.
Okay.
But you can get under it and support it and commune with it. This is a tiny thing that you could grab, but
Do I go big or go home and try all 4? I mean, I'll try one first.
What would Mitra
I'll try one. I'll try one.
you try one.
I'll try one.
WWMD.
Okay.
Number 1.
Yeah, what would Marcus
What
do?
would Mitra do?
Oh, I'm going big or go home. No, I'm kidding.
You-
One.
Here's your new character sheet.
Here we go, guys.
Behind door number
Write
1.
this down.
Your eye. Ooh, no, this is actually
Here,
this
write
is
this
really
down.
funny. Your eyes begin to itch, and burn, and then as the eye opens, you suddenly see the shadows within this place are just fine. You're looking around. It's throbbing. It's painful. To a lesser person, it would be distracting. but you live with pain all the time, and you let it flow through you. So
Kind of your whole deal.
you know that there are 3 more aspects to this thing, though, left. So you currently are rocking some dark vision.
Wow. Yeah. Dark vision.
Dark
Make a
vision.
note.
I got dark vision, baby.
Did it work?
It'd actually probably be bad if she had them.
You
Yeah, is she still within this trance? Are we seeing kind of like that scream of reaction and then
She screams.
solace?
Is there a smile on her face?
Probably I don't know. Actually, that's a good question, Corey. What's your as you come out of this? What's your outward reaction?
She's still holding the gem or stone or whatever, like, soul of a person it is. And we'll just immediately go into this trance, sit, and just
What did you see?
Randy.
Oh, you.
yes,
Randy.
yes.
I know. Go.
Are you okay?
She's like touching everything, making sure nothing's there. Yes, surprisingly. I have new information. Do you know of this? You said you knew of this Nikolai, yes?
We know of a lie that was told us by Capio, by his remains. I did give him a proper burial.
Well, it seems that this Nikolai, his essence, or perhaps some sort of force that he has. As you say,
You're joking. It's a joke, no?
We'll eat him.
I wish it
Dominic.
was.
You might want to have consumed him. if
Which is
they were
truly
arriving.
horrific.
So person's in that?
What is that?
Magically.
What I'm hearing is I'm not getting dark vision anytime soon.
Thank God.
No,
So, we're going to destroy it, right?
I would say not.
Why not?
I want to study this
Why?
for a little bit longer.
It's a soul of someone who's trapped in a stone, and you want to use it like a trinket.
That is,
I'll say.
I mean, that is kind of their game, right?
Yeah, it's calling it a game, but is it our game to allow it to happen in front of it? You know?
It is more valuable to my people than yours, I would say.
How big is it?
No doubt. I mean, size of a die 8, probably.
Look,
Strange.
it goes.
I like this big.
He goes up to your old eye.
Kind of looks exactly like this one.
It's my new
It's exactly the size of that.
It's my new eye. Yeah. Put that shit back in there. I mean, that'd be interesting, but no, I'm not gonna do that.
You over.
I'm not gonna take that chance. Not today, anyway.
I know that
There could be something valuable for my people. We've been tracking down and trying to, let's say, communicate with these people. Perhaps this Nikolai, or whoever he is, could be a very good bargaining chip.
I know that our cultures clearly are not the same, but we do have a strength within a diversity of them knowing what we do not. And this could be a great test of your trust. Would you feel comfortable being the steward of this until we know exactly what to do?
Aye, Dominic.
We know that it can be destroyed.
It can be. Or, as Grip has stated, tamed.
And embraced.
Perhaps there's a way to negotiate with him.
No one wants to kill Capio more than me. And taking away something more powerful to him, even if I don't see him in this physical realm now, I think could be of good use. Mitra, I would like you to consider this as a test. Yes, Grip.
I was just gonna. Is there anything else any items that I actually found?
It looks like there's a little shed of a back room. I mean, basically a glorified closet. And you see that door is sealed.
Fair enough.
That's about it.
Is there anything on Wesa? A crown, maybe?
Wrong character.
Fuck.
Wrong character.
Oh no, the one she found at the island.
It's there. We just don't know about it.
She just forgot we had it.
Oh my gosh.
And so did you.
Yeah.
God damn it.
One in the camp.
Okay.
No, that's not there wasn't anything magic there.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure.
The magic stuff I
Yeah.
keep closer track of.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
That's probably in the keep, probably maybe in the seneschal's office, realistically. Yeah. Okay, so Oasis says, "Are we over here then?"
I believe so.
We're leaving
Very well.
at dusk.
Yeah.
We have a ship.
Yes. Arrangements have been made by Livia, no doubt. Was there anything else that you saw in this room, Grip?
It's a closet. Back there, it's sealed. No means that I have to open it. This chair is,
Gross, I know.
He spent almost all of his time on it.
well, I don't mean to be humorous, but it is a seat of power. There's something about this chair that is deeply profound and meaningful, and I don't understand it. But I don't think he was just sitting there for the comfort.
Sounds like Rutilius.
What do you mean by it when you say it is a seat of power? What makes you think that?
This spot, you know about that mana moves in currents
Pretend that we don't.
throughout the realms. It's like a current of water, but it's moving through everything.
River.
There are points of it in very great concentration, points where you can even see it or interact with it if you know where to look and how to touch. This is one of those points. Here, under his house.
Under his seat.
Yeah.
Like a boat on the river.
And I
How much
think
of this do I understand from my own experience with Will?
Make an Arcana check.
I have no way to know this.
Hey!
That's pretty damn good. That's going to be a 21.
You're tracking. You're tracking.
So I've actually experienced this sort of thing. Okay.
You're tracking. Yeah.
I feel like this seat might be the doorway.
To the river.
Doorway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that doesn't make sense because a chair can't be a door, but
No, it makes sense.
there's
You want me to look?
there's something deep and profound here, and this is a focus for it, I think.
Wait, sir. You were given the permission of this hut. Would it be something you'd be interested in possibly sitting on? Or opening? As long as it's okay with you.
It might be like a cork.
Yeah,
It might be like a cork for what's underneath this Juramentum.
I'm not sure what would happen.
To be honest, the one who would best understand it is Triss.
I can allow that. And I'm sure Wesa wouldn't either.
I'm sorry, Grip. I just have not known that person long enough yet.
Would supervision be accepted?
We have our reservations about you and Devran being in here alone. No offense, Devran.
That's up to the Dominie.
I make no judgment. I speak the facts as I understand them. The best mind to understand that
But on
is in that camp.
fair, as a theory though, if this actually is a cork, we've always known that Juramentum was a place of beauty, rich and powerful. There's things here that are nowhere else in this world. If that is a conduit to the river right beneath us, that would explain a lot.
That would explain a lot.
There's nothing we can do about it for now.
No.
I cannot move it through any means that I possess. It's possible with great time and study. I might be able to commune with it in some capacity, but that is not my strength, turns out.
It's not physical movement, it's through will.
That's what I mean. By no means that I possess. At least in my current form.
I always thought it looked comfortable, but all right.
I do have one thing I recalled regarding Meg and this thing that attacked me. That just for note before I perhaps forget. The monster had some sort of clicking noise and was not necessarily human, but could talk. Could talk in Daro, but something was off. And this is what it sounded like. With y'all's permission. He looks around.
I mean, sure.
You better to know the enemy that we have here. Yes.
Could be outside.
Wriggle his hands and
Okay.
try to recreate that noise.
The noise. Okay, yeah. Make an Arcana check and see how exactly you can get it.
That'll be a 12.
12. I mean, fair. It's a bit distorted because you were busy dying at the.
Get busy living or get busy
We
dying.
were all thinking it.
So there's like bad sound quality, but you do manage to catch
Social distortion.
the essence of the speech of this kind of sibilant hissing, and almost like somebody's jaw is clicking as it's going,
Like Predator.
like a grind in the background.
And she called him boy, and he was wanting to get something from her. He was almost like a anticipated of a need, he said.
Was it her pet?
He had needs, and
Well, pets have
he couldn't
needs
wait.
too.
Perhaps it was killing.
Right.
Anyways,
We get.
no one understands what this thing is.
I appreciate that. To be honest, and better to know that she's not acting alone.
And he also has a bullseye lantern that she does use. Oddly.
Back to this. I appreciate that, Devran. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be short. I'm just.
If you see a man with a bullseye lantern,
Oh, no, what is the? You know what? I'll ask later.
The former second mate from the Zephyr, Zuma, might be a good addition to the crew.
They have, well, yes, maybe so.
Understood.
Something to think about. His eyes are excellent.
They are. We've had our own conversations. So, actually, before we leave, Devran, you reminded me of something. I had a visitor, and I'm glad that, to the point of asking permission. So, apparently we have another person of power in Juramentum who's been living here for some time. Her name is Archmaga Arwasa. And Salai, Corporal Salai, Sergeant now, I suppose, when he left.
Depending on what Vale would want him to be in her station.
Corporal Salai's grandmother. To say that she was not pleased at what transpired would be a grave understatement, and she said that if I didn't get back to her, she would be getting back to us. I felt her. She is strong. I don't know exactly. I felt like this is more of an intuition, Grip, but that she knew your grandsire. Just, I don't know, it was the way she was speaking, and do you think that old frog was the only person who could work some will, something to that effect? So, I mean, he's famous enough among those circles, right? So I could be wrong. Any road. The point being, I might be able to bring us to her hut. It's actually not that far from the keep. Or I was debating just hoping it would keep a little bit and getting the hells out of the city.
I think that's a wonderful idea. Do I have any history of Corporal Salai's parents again or grandparents if they were in the military, stuff of that nature? I would know most of the people.
The whole family, that family has been, not all of them, but the whole family has been like intertwined with the Myrmidon to some extent. You know what? I'm going to let you make a history check and see if the name Arwasa
History.
means anything to you.
No.
But you do have
9.
proficiency in. Okay. Your generation, you know quite well. the generation up, even, you know, quite well.
But the one above that.
The one above that, it's getting a little hazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. And what was her last name again? Or her name?
Oh, Arwasa.
Arwasa. I feel like it'd be worth it to have the conversation.
I have so many questions, but I didn't ask them. I just said yes, ma'am, and moved on. Because there wasn't really...
She used all the energy on you, didn't she?
Kind of.
Yeah, I know she does that.
And we just...
Are you familiar with the Marcus?
No, I just know, but that's the way she does with our kids.
Grandmothers. Okay.
She made a point of turning a small item into... It just went away. It just went away. I didn't even know that was possible. I've seen dragons. I've seen all kinds of things, but that was a new one.
What did she make go away?
A piece of parchment was blank.
I will take whatever doesn't she wishes. It's on me, is it not, Mesa?
Well, that happened in my office, so it's on us. And I made her understand I was not... She intimated that I was shirking my duty, at which point I started to lose my temper a bit, reined myself in, and decided I didn't want to go away, so... But I did still, you know, it's a delicate thing, speaking with these elders. Trying to get just the right... Each of them is different, you know. But any route, here, now you know. Sorry.
Do you get any read on her that might be useful for how we interact with her?
Sincerely.
Apologetic.
Forcefully, apologetically, normal things.
Those, the thing that I can't understand is if she is that bloody powerful, why didn't she help us? But I was going to ask her that. So there's been someone who's supposedly has the same title as your grandsire who's just been sitting in a hut?
So that was my question. Like, aren't we about ready to, like, fuck off? Wouldn't it be great if that person could just, like, hang out here for a fortnight?
I'll have the conversation. And there's a reason why people wouldn't want to make themselves known.
Another hut?
There's a lot of times that truly we have to prove ourselves to be worthy for them to know us.
Perhaps the pain she endured was too great for her to make herself known.
Thank you, Asa.
And she does give you a small, like, half bow. And we're off?
Devon, I'd prefer if you probably weren't there for attacking her grandson.
With respect, I think rather he should be.
As do I.
Well, then keep your mouth shut. Outside of, I'm sorry. Fair enough?
That's what you wish, my lord.
We're going as a fellowship then? We may as well do this now.
Marcus, you should probably go and see Livia. I know that she was requesting for you.
Did that happen now, or is that like a 2 hours hence?
Previously.
He doesn't know that though, because that happened.
Oh, okay.
That happened in the ass crack of dawn. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, I believe so. We have a few hours left. Dusk is at 6, and we're probably... I think we're still at around 11:30.
Yeah.
It
It hasn't quite hit high sun yet.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I know that we were like 8:30 when we had the conversation with them. Okay, wonderful.
Allow me to talk to my beloved about this Meg girl. Make sure that we are a little extra vigilant for her.
Mitra, on that behalf, would you be able to possibly discuss for them to have some of the sentry guards that have been guarding their camp to watch over the blood pool via Marcus's suggestion?
Of course. Gladly.
Thank you.
We don't have to roleplay that if we don't need to.
That's fair. Yeah.
Thank you, Lord.
I'll ask you
Thank
a
you.
couple specifics of how you frame it, and then.
I'll go with you.
Of course.
Who saw that coming?
Yeah, right.
She is quite entrancing.
Waisa just shakes her head.
I'm trying to observe it as well. Exactly.
Okay.
Wait, sir, can I touch it?
Touch what?
The shield. I've never touched it before. Will it hurt me?
I wouldn't.
Will it hurt me?
No.
Would that be very invasive?
Well,
Oh, it's down now.
Oh, damn. Put it back up.
When we go out,
Yeah, I slapped it on all dogs.
Go away.
I'll do it.
Wonderful. So,
Work?
Perfect.
Of course.
Good
Can
form.
I try? No.
Okay, so I assume you give the beloved and the rest of your colleagues a full and true accounting of
Oh, yeah.
what happened with, to the best of your knowledge, of Megara, of her coming around the camp, which your name actually got dropped in that description somewhere along the way, so that does not get mentioned. And
Of the dagger as well, and what that might be of interest.
Fist Ashtiani weighs that, and Trisley, the beloved, actually looks to her to make the decision for the security. And she finally decides, all right, we'll be their keep dog. We'll be their courtyard dog. And
Just for the moment.
just for a bit more. So
It's much appreciated.
they're gonna stay. Yeah. So basically, they're gonna stay there,
Yeah.
ready for a fight.
Yeah, I said that because I know I offered the barracks up to like any of their civilian kind of population that would be kind of just cannon fodder to the barracks inside, but they also asked for the farmhouses that were vacant. So
The farmhouses are
they're welcome to
kind of the ones that they're eyeing. But you did offer the barracks too, which are ready-made housing.
Yeah, and if we're under siege, I'm sure that the farmhouses is something they'd want to be in.
That's a good point too. Yep. No, the barracks are inside the walls, Donnie. That is correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so that goes off well.
And she's not going to mention the Necromancer Stone or Nikolai just yet, because I think she wants to gather a little more information before she starts bringing that up.
Randy, you have
some things.
You have some announcements.
Yes. A little bit ago, we got sidetracked and sucked in. So, but Defying Chaos gifted us 5 memberships. Thank you.
Defying Chaos. You haven't felt off Dark Sibo yet. Yay.
Danielle Struve also gave us 5 memberships.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Wherever you are, thank you very much.
Gracious.
Gotcha. And then, of course, Grim, as always, we love you so much. Thank you for the 5 gift subs.
Dude,
Thank you.
The reefer.
Shout out to
you.
Grim.
The reefing.
Reefer. Making gifted.
So, all right, we're doing the thing. Thank you so much, y'all.
Hell yeah.
At some point, if Fist Ashtiani has a second, I want to check in with her briefly.
Yeah, you do. You little son of a gun.
Okay. She just looks. She just is looking down at you, and this is after she's made the decision that they'll be the courtyard dog. You have something to say to me, Sika Draco.
Yeah, Fist. I would ask your counsel.
Oh. But
You
I'm
are-
a granny.
Well, that means you've got a lot of it.
True.
You are a warrior, an armorer. You are schooled in the ways of combat, and
The word is blacksmith. Yes.
What do you think I need to be a better fighter? Obviously, beyond like winters of training, but just I move comfortably. I don't want to wear armor. I'm content with my blade, but
You do. You move well enough that if you were very, very lucky and the beloved was distracted for some reason, I assessed that you had a 10 of 100 chance of being able to overcome our spiritual head and decapitate it.
well, fortunately, we won't have to worry about that.
Won't we?
And I'm gonna just my jaw's gonna set a little bit. I'm going to be very certain of my presence, that not respond.
When you come back, we will have a proper conversation.
Thank you.
That conversation will include Fale.
Thank you.
Metro nod to Ashtiani. Still.
It's to you.
Right around see if I
And before I leave, I will go to Batul and get another dose of healing if that's possible.
Point. That in fact is. Okay.
Just as a, a little extra bump.
Just in case. Every little bit helps. A few less bruises, things of that nature.
As much as I love pain, I don't want too much of it right
All right, he tends to you again with his special gift and gives you back another 7 hit points.
I'll take it.
This almost like to wait.
Take it away.
Yeah.
Ashtiani catches you as you're leaving the healer's tent. She puts a hand on your elbow, just kind of or just above, kind of in a familiar fashion. Do not go to the Maiden of Pain for some stupid foreigner reason.
I will try not to. This is my purpose to follow her, but not in a stupid way. Do you know me that all?
I do, and I have thought of our conversation the other night. If you are willing, I would like to know you better yet. And she just stares right into your eye.
Oh my gosh.
The other
Guys, shut. I'm scared.
Think on it. And she reaches to give your hand like a firm squeeze.
She'll squeeze back. A reaffirming squeeze.
Turns, holds the grip as the arms begin to go, and then separates.
She'll kind of like look her up and down and watch her go a little bit, and then
Okay.
turn back around and catch up with grip.
All right.
Nice to have another woman that's not obsessed with me.
You know, it's
all about you.
I was happy
to somebody else.
I
It's a
don't.
blush on camera.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Don't blush again.
It's great because neither of y'all can hide it. We're crap.
Yeah, I know. We had the fucking complexion of the moon. That's gonna happen.
The moon.
You come back in. You hear this. You hear another pair of Kithki. Actually, at this point, the Kithki have gone into quads. So there are 4 Kithki, 2 on each side, who are wrestling with the bar. They figured out that it's just better that way for everybody.
2 little kids with a trench coat.
I don't know how many BoJack Horsemen. Someday there's going to be like a supercut of all my BoJack Horseman references, but it just comes to mind.
Drip stops.
So you come back in through the main gate, and she said, "All right, Waisa." This is Waisa mumbling to herself. Okay, all right. First hut west of the northern field. First hut west of the northern field.
And I'm sure I would know exactly where that is. Just from living here my whole life.
You think for a second, pull it up, and you pretty confidently take the lead.
Yeah.
And that brings you to...
I like her to start walking in the wrong direction, and I just kind of re-corrected my shoulders. So that
Okay.
it's a little bit further on. Yeah.
And she says softly to you, "It's been a long night." And she says this in the daylight.
Yeah.
You suspect Waisa too did not get much sleep. So as you come, you might notice that this hut here has a little more space
than others.
than most of the other huts.
A little more.
A little more space. It's small. I mean, it's completely unremarkable. Well kept, but many huts in within Juramentum are. Mm-hmm. And you remember the terrible winter, the worst winter maybe ever in Juramentum's history, where some of the babies died and there was a hue and cry. And so after that, your grandsire, who was the founding lord of Juramentum, basically went on a campaign and upgraded every single hut.
one. Yep.
With shutters that can be fastened against the wind and better insulation.
6. Yeah. So that would have been 11 years ago.
You have some dim memories. You have some dim memories of that. You helped as much as you could, but here you are, and so you can see. You can see the hut, and its orientation is. So that'd be the front of it, basically looking into the farmlands and the fields. Whereas
Something with a view.
Whereas most of the other ones are looking away.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I will make the introductions then.
I can, Lisa.
Who the hell is it?
An old friend?
And that is where we pause our tale.
It seems lovely.
A wonderful conversation is ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much, y'all. We're going to take a brief intermission.
And thanks everybody for the gifts as well.
Yes, thank you everyone for the gifts.
You guys are the best.
I caught them run past, and then I've got the ADHD out of it. So
That's what D&D's all about, baby.
That's for the love of the game, folks.
baby!
That's good, Toby. That's good. All right, we'll see you in a few. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Eldritch Foundry is evolving. Bringing you a virtual army of miniatures like never before in full tabletop-ready color. Paint your miniatures in our upgraded creation tool, then bring them to life in stunning one-to-one detail as 3D printed miniature masterpieces. With complete control over your digital color scheme, you can point and click for simple color fills or go all in on highlights, shading, brush techniques, and more. Create epic heroes and madness-touched monsters that are truly yours. Miniatures are 3D printed in perfect color detail using a new PolyJet 3D printing process, giving you unique, bespoke models ready to delve into any dungeon as part of your next campaign. Everything from one-off player characters to dungeon mobs and boss-level monsters that will make every player in your group jealous. But that's not all. You can take things fully digital and export into leading VTT platforms such as Tailspire and Roll20 to take your games and your custom miniatures wherever you want. Join the adventure of a lifetime. Back our campaign today to help us bring this stunning revolution in custom miniature design to reality. With Eldritch Foundry, full-color 3D design and printing.
Greetings, weary travelers, and welcome to Constructed Chaos, a channel dedicated to all things D&D, including live play streams and podcasts, 3D printing, painting, crafting, homebrew content, and guides for players and dungeon masters alike. Join our Discord for even more special benefits, announcements, and free downloadable content. And until next time, go out there and make some chaos.
We lift our voice to greet the rising sun. Your splendorous touch burns away the dark. With a soft golden hue, your world is made anew. We follow the path you've laid.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
And thank you so much for rejoining us. We have the matter of a little candle. Yes.
Okay.
Tails.
Do it again.
Tails.
I was interested if we hit a slightly different note on that one. Okay. An old friend, I think, is what you told her.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that would have been the boil on my ass that I just popped.
She does sound like Salai. It's Lord Titus.
Oh, bully for you.
Damn.
And you see the door opens of its own accord.
Mm-hmm.
You say a very cooined, older woman, steel gray hair, and she has on simple clothing, clean, but that's it. I mean, you can even see the hand stitching. She's made zero attempt to hide any of it, like some of the more fashionable young ladies do now. And she's chilling on a not quite a rocking chair because that doesn't exist, but you know, a kind of a nice
gateway to the Eternal River.
Nice padded chair.
Yeah.
The only really thing of interest is that she has what looks like some sort of sprig of a plant that you don't quite recognize. Actually, make a nature check.
May I as well? See him right there?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll say the two of you are at the...
14.
14? Probably not.
Not bad. Not that bad. 10.
Did she look familiar to
So
me?
bad, Randy. You think you've seen her
Probably at the...
make another...
when we were giving the speech.
Either history or investigation as you arrive at it.
Investigation sounds way better.
Okay.
Not as good. 14.
Maybe, but really she just looks like any of the older aunties / young grannies, you know, cooins.
Yeah, there's 3,800 people here.
that are there.
Yeah.
So she has some sort of twisted sprig that's spiraling down its length. It has little miniature branches coming off of it.
Mm-hmm.
You see different, like, colored eggshells, little bits of dull, not sparkling crystal that have been worried into it. And there's just a certain glimmering to it that doesn't seem quite natural. And she has this...
And she has that's in her hand, or is that a plant?
Yeah, okay. This is... she's just looking at you. I mean, this hut's not large.
Yeah.
It looks like...
Imagine it's the size of probably Rutilius' office.
Yeah, about that.
Plus a pantry. All right.
There is a double... there is a bed that looks like it could have housed 2 people, but you only see evidence of her up there. There is a well-maintained hearth here that's currently lit, that's warming her old bones.
May we come in?
No.
Understood. Well, I do have someone here who would like to apologize on behalf of your grandson and a wrong and offense that may have been done to him.
Really?
Wace has told me as much from your last conversation.
So you're more than just a pretty face. I assume she's with you. I can't see past you and you, blocking my doorway.
I will turn to the side to get plenty of light to stream through.
Waste
Do I know her, actually? Because I'm familiar with the area, or at least the common folk in the farmlands and stuff.
You know, that is a good point, Randy. And you have been down at the pig pens extensively. Make a history check. See how well you've been cataloging it.
Oh!
1.
Yeah.
You think you know her.
You're pretty tired.
You're pretty tired. You're not.
Dream.
You're. I mean, we're almost to the point where you're going to start rolling at disadvantage for all those checks. We're right on that cusp.
Welcome to the show.
And
It was so good to see you again.
Nice.
do we all look alike?
Flattery is not his strong suit.
Apologies, Mum.
Goddess of truth, huh?
Can't be wrong.
Well, at least when he's being a dumbass, it's in the raw.
So the goddess of truth. You are familiar with me and Marcus?
I have eyes. I have ears. Well, I have eyes. You're gonna have to speak up a little bit.
More than happy to.
You can't just be mumbling into that lush, rich beard of yours.
I'll take that as a compliment.
It's quite lush and...
You can take it however you like.
I'm only 17 years old. Looks quite good.
What are years? Any roads? All right. Where's this
Winters.
person?
I'll step to the side.
This person of interest.
I'm last, actually. Right
Okay. Yeah.
Person stay last.
Yeah, I wanted Devran to be kind of staying a little bit last, and then I'll reach back and kind of like put my hand on his shoulder and just kind of walk him in forward. Juramentum.
You can come into the threshold, but no further.
Thank you. How should I address you?
For a dumbass, he's done pretty well so far, she says, gesturing toward Marcus.
Mom.
You know, it's probably a good thing that I'm not 20 winters younger. Well, no, that's a horrible thing.
Do I know of a Kuan way to address them based on my heritage?
I don't think you speak Wallig.
No, I don't.
Yeah, so no. Okay. She says, it's a good thing that I'm not. No, it's a terrible thing. It'd be really nice to be 20 winters. You know, and I know how to get there too. Hey, Lord person. If people start going missing, those death tamers that are sitting out there, they might be, turning them into drinks. Kind of freshens the skin up. They have that technique, I'm sure. She's not wrong.
Maybe we do, maybe we don't. I don't know.
I've seen them be turned into certain things, yes.
Okay, here's the deal. What a weird face. It hurts my eyes. Okay, the male version isn't any better than the girl. Look.
I look over at Marcus and just kind of like... We're kind of like, this is...
I lean over to Wei and say, oh, thank you. Quiet fetching, thank you.
I was going to take your brains and turn them inside out so that you could appreciate what that felt like, and then explain that it was educational purposes only. But I'm an old fart, and I don't think that's very becoming. So this is what we're going to do instead. If you ever hex, curse, inveigle, disempower, enchant, manipulate, discombobulate, or deliquesce any family member of mine without consent. Okay, they're an odd bunch.
Understood.
All right.
May I get a list of their names? So that I can assure I don't do that.
You have the secret of the word.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're not a Mondamender, actually. You don't smell like one.
I learned from...
And she actually is like scratching her neck.
Like a cat.
She spits something foul out of her mouth. She's been chewing on.
From a grimoire. A Tatlum.
Old speak. On your own.
Yes, unfortunately.
Okay, so maybe you're not a drooling idiot. Maybe you just drool. That's fine. No, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we understand each other.
I consider it a favor, and I would do you a favor. Just to understand the names.
I don't need any favors from you. You can have the names. I'll get... Yeah, some of my worthless children can read and write, I'm sure. They haven't forgotten everything that I ever taught them. Lord, you can vouch for this boy.
Conditions as such for those in Juramentum without my consent. No name or list.
Oh,
That's what you want, my lord.
that's an interesting one. Okay.
Okay. That'll be interesting.
Girl. Yes, ma'am. Come up next to him. Goes over and she formally... None of that. I fucking work for a living. Okay. I thought about your question. Because I didn't want to. Because after decades of fighting the good fight, I'd earned my fucking rest. I just want to be here. I don't want to hear snouts. I don't want to... Does one really... Okay. I don't want to hear squeals or see snouts. I don't want to deal with the screams of the dying. I don't want to deal with Figulus Neus, and fortunately he's fucked off and gotten himself killed, and that's, I think, probably a good thing for the world. And, you know, I had high hopes for the young one, but, you know, she fucked off too, so what did she always like to say? Oh, right, here we are. So, you who do have half a brain, if only half a face, that's the answer. Because I had earned my rest. Clear? As crystal, ma'am. All right. You don't know a damn thing, either of you, about being a Kuin, do you? You don't know anything about the long goodbye. You don't know about the joyous hello. You've never danced naked at the height of summer sun. Sad. Where did you grow up?
Zaha. With a father of sorts.
Yeah, well, congratulations. We all have one. Got rid of mine as quickly as I could.
I wish the same.
When you get your head out of your ass, come back to me. Maybe I'll have a thing or two to teach you, or not. We'll see.
Yes, ma'am.
By yourself. Don't lie. Just save us both a lot of trouble. You did that. You deciphered a grimoire, by a stolen grimoire, no doubt. By yourself.
I did.
Enough to slap a humanus on someone. Okay. All right.
He gulps.
Well, now you know one of your city's dirty little secrets. Your grandsire told me I could be here as long as I wanted to be, as long as I was just a farming woman. And that he would never reveal, he and your grand dame found her easily tolerable. Both gave me that. They said there'd be no written record. I guess they actually stuck to their damn word, huh?
Quite the news to me today.
Even though you are telling the truth, make a persuasion check as she incites that.
Dirty 20.
Wow.
Nice.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
You can ask.
What was she like?
Smart. For a patrician? Damn smart. Pretty, but that fades. Would have if she'd lived long enough. Yeah. A visionary. This dream that you people prattle on about. It's probably gonna get sacked. Don't come running here when they sack the city. But visionary. She actually had a way forward. You know that he was just a sword, right?
I'm well aware of everything that he was, but it makes sense of why he was for her. But I know that this may be overstepping as much as we already have.
Probably is.
I'm sure you're aware of the situation with my sister Livia.
Yep.
I know that obviously blood has a lot of relation, especially if you want to protect your grandson Salai.
Well, he's gone too. On account of a idiotic broken heart for a man who's not worth tying his boots.
Do a lot of crazy things for love, but you have this familiarity with my grandame that I do not. I think if you were possibly willing to convey some of your impressions and or histories with my sister about the dream that she communicated to you from my great dame, I think would give her some strength so we can focus on this dream once again. I would forever be in your debt for this. As far as it goes for your secrecy, obviously punishable by a lord to any of you to reveal it to anyone else. I'll keep my grandsire and granddame's word. I know that you were here for a reason, just like everyone else is.
I don't believe in that fake crap, kid. It'll steer you wrong every time.
It feels like it still believes in me.
Is that actually it? That sword you have? That gaudy thing you have lashed to your side?
She has a name.
Concord. Pull it out. Just enough. I don't need to see the tip. Sententia. Holy fuck. That's real. That's perfection, and it's static. Thank you.
I would like you to know as well. Promise that I would only draw it to take life. But I draw this to prove to you that we are willing to do what it takes if you can help us. And if you can help Livia.
Why did Tawea choose you?
I've been struggling with that myself. But
why you? Why now?
You know the prior carriers of this blade.
More than you might think.
From my conversations with them and my conversations with the Concord, I feel as though that one of them was fighting for survival of a species. The first.
Not so much about him. Know a lot more about Tenderheart.
I feel like Jason was fighting for the soul of what we are. And now I feel like I may have been chosen to defend the soul's right to breathe. Freedom. Liberty.
Liberty.
And most importantly, because at the time when I didn't know if I was, I admitted that I do not think I'm worthy. You and Tessa and Stormwarden are the only two people that know that.
And them.
I never told them that. I said it within my mind while it was being read by the Storm's Warden.
And you, Fishman.
Big man.
Fishman.
Sure. What can I do for you, Mum?
All kinds of tricks. Healing hall, really? A public display?
That. Well, you know, they
a
needed
public fucking display?
Needed something to lift the spirits. It might have been a bit up, whatever.
I mean, you needed a salve to your pride.
No, I don't think so. I thought about that for a while.
Did you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. As soon as I figured out...
I can think.
As soon as we realized what it was that was giving us the light, there's been a lot of thinking. And a lot of what I thought and what I didn't think. But what I knew with those people and the Kithki is they needed something to rally them. And they'd had a hit after hit after hit. And I was tired of hiding. I was tired of hiding her. So I made a decision. It wasn't for pride, but it was a decision.
At disadvantage, because you're very tired.
No.
No!
Make a persuasion check.
Can I help him?
How are you going to help?
We were chosen by something that hasn't been heard in a long time. And I feel like giving faith to those that do have it but don't know where to direct it as a public display. I fully stand behind Marcus, showing the ability that we can heal and we can still celebrate in this darkness.
All right, I got it. Yes.
Straight roll.
So, yes, it's a straight roll.
You can do it, buddy. I use my inspiration.
You have a morale point?
Inspiration.
Oh, no, that's same.
You do have a morale point left.
Oh, do I?
Do you want to add it?
Yeah, I like this because she's important.
Okay.
Important to our city. I'll take it.
Might as well.
She is. Yes, she is.
Draw upon the esprit de corps. Your fellows.
Persuasion?
Persuasion.
It's 3, 14.
I'm going to slap you for rolling that one and you're playing with me.
No.
Really? So anticlimactic.
Boy, this has been a violent session. We're just beating on each other today. Okay.
Woo! 18 total.
Yes.
You need to work on your pitch.
I'm so tired.
It's not as good as his. Yeah, well, guess what, sweet tits? We're all tired. And you're just going to get more tired. The older you get, it just gets worse, okay? You're going to start breaking wind. You're going to have to start running into the bushes to piss. It's going to be a grand old time.
That last part's already happening.
Okay, good. Good. I'm glad we have an understanding.
It's quite commonplace. Well,
Okay.
I'm glad that Devran had his mistakes for us to properly introduce ourselves.
She reaches over to the hearth. Actually, kind of like, yeah, fuck that. There we go. And there's a little glimmer. One of the flagstones lifts. Don't get stuck on the fucking corner. And this kind of battered, moldy, it looks more like a journal than a grimoire, comes into her hands. Do you know what a grammatical is?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, probably don't, but she says,
Damn, I love this woman.
take this. This starts with Old Speak. It's the one common thread that all, and the flagstones just, okay. She kind of slaps it back. Maybe a little shakier than you would. You're not sure. Maybe she just wasn't paying attention, but it doesn't quite perfectly line up. It's going to start in Old Speak, and then you're going to see the translation into Wallag. And when you can write your letter to me, then I'll take you seriously. And then I'll see if you're full of shit about deciphering that grimoire yourself. Do we have an understanding?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Good. She tosses it, and then it just kind of unnaturally arcs over.
I'll catch it normally, yes. Or try to, at least.
Now piss off. I'm tired.
We'll be out already.
Did it look like telekinesis?
I mean, you don't have that word.
Well, did it just float straight across? Did it feel like it was being handed off?
It kind of jerkily. That is a very shrewd question, Randy. I was going to say
looked like magic.
Billy.
Yeah, it did.
You know what?
It was
But
bad.
I am tired, so I don't know.
At disadvantage,
Yeah.
make an Arcana check.
Disadvantage.
Okay, I got a 4 on the first one, so
Okay.
I'm not even going to bother with the rest. So
You're not sure. I get what you mean though, because you're wondering if there's a helper or if there's
Yeah.
You're not sure.
Okay. Well, guys, let's go.
For what it's worth, it was an honor to fight beside Salai, and he will be missed.
This is you pissing off. The door shuts in your face.
I think that went well.
I think she's definitely enamored of us.
Nice.
Good job. As I pat Devran in the back. And look what you got a new toy.
It's not a toy.
It's something for me to learn.
Become quite astute.
Hope.
I like her.
Seems like you too.
You like that now?
Yeah, as I call
Okay. She's like, okay.
Oh, he must have been coughing.
Of course, my lord. All right, and wait.
Like you too.
Wesa starts walking away, and she does a kind of Wesa-like thing, but maybe not. She basically like turns backwards to eye the hut for a couple steps.
Yeah.
As she's doing before.
It's not like a graceful, but it's like a trot.
Yeah.
Like going back.
Yeah.
That's very funny.
Before she turns back around and then looks at you. All right. I'll read the bloody thing with you. I don't know Old Speak, so you're going to have to teach me.
You read my mind.
Well, we did share the same womb. So
Sometimes, at times.
That too.
Thank you.
No, don't thank me
Help
yet.
each other out.
We'll see. I don't know what kind of patience I'm going to have. I hate being this out of my... It's loathsome to be this out of my depth. But I don't actually know how to read Log, and I am half Kuand, even though sometimes I feel like it doesn't exist.
We are half Kuand.
I stand corrected. We are half Kuand. Domini, what are we going to do about this priestess woman, Zanea?
We have to find out what Rutilius's impressions may have been. You shall go.
So that means we're going to have to find her before... She's dangerously close to whinging. This means we're going to have to find her before we leave.
Yeah, it sounds like she might be phoning us.
I feel as though that she'll make herself known. But yes. Marcus, you should probably go to your family and get some rest.
Thank you. Alright, bye.
It's very odd.
Yeah. You're done. You're so done. You're so done.
Yeah. Is there going to be enough... It's like Heisen, we're leaving at dusk. When's dusk? Is there going to be enough time for Nate?
You have about 6 hours.
Not a long rest, no.
But you can always take first watch on the ship.
You can, yeah. You can.
We'll be able to make something work.
Actually, well, no, I'm not going to do that. All right.
I'm going to say, because you were right on that cusp, I'm going to say that if you get like a good power nap in, you'll stave off the disadvantage for a bit longer.
I was going to probably sleep on the boat, but I actually rather sleep with my family. So,
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just head home, crash her into bed. Oh, she's already up and out. So.
Waisa says, I have some idea where they might be. By your leave.
Did you want Devran to come with us as well?
Well, I don't want to scare them off. I should be okay. It's within the city.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're the advisor.
Thank you for everything.
I know I chose right in choosing you.
I know I chose right in bending the knee to thee.
Still will never get used to that.
She turns and leaves with a quick bow. Okay. So we have you two and you.
Us two.
Are you... Oh, gosh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
So what's Fistoshiani up to?
Well,
so glad you asked. Let's see. I think we can... Yeah, I think we can get away with that. All right, I'm going to push this just a bit. So you make prep. You have a... It probably is nice to see Livia actually not supine, but upright for once. And you have the most just nice, banal, normal-ish conversation that you've had since this whole marriage started.
I informed her entirely of that, and I was just like, do you remember what it was like speaking to Figulus?
I rarely had the pleasure.
Imagine him funnier than a woman.
That either sounds dreadful or absolutely amazing.
It was both. She's agreed to have a conversation with you.
Within our walls, this whole time.
I feel as though that there's a lot of things that our grandparents kept from us, but she agreed to talk to you about our grandmother.
Titus, before you go, and then I'm probably going to ask you to help me get to bed.
You know you don't have to ask me for anything.
Sometimes, do you trust me?
More than I do myself.
You know.
Always.
All right. Okay. And whatever. I feel like you're not going to try to insight check that on her. Okay.
No.
All right.
Something about rolling against or for any, you know.
Right.
Just
No.
doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's yeah. All right. So, are you going to? Of course you are.
What else does he do?
Yeah, what else is he gonna do?
I mean, I presume at some point we'll get a chance, but while Mitra, I assume Mitra has like effects that need to be gathered.
Yeah, you have to.
She
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
Like,
You have to pack.
We're gonna let that go.
You get to pack up. You're leaving in your absence. Well, technically you would. I mean, technically you would make this decision, although it'd be wild. But so I'll put the question to you: are you going to put to your colleagues that you're taking abeyance with you, or are you leaving abeyance in the camp to do its thing?
I want to leave it to
Okay.
have it do its thing, because I would assume Mitra would trust to leave it with her own people and not with strangers.
Okay. Very well. So you and Ashtiani go through a quick, maybe a torch-long ritual or something where you formally render abeyance into her capable hands until such time as you come back.
Yeah. For the time being.
And it's just you have maybe one or two of the other non-chosen death tamers, but who still can have some degree of amount of manipulation, basically to witness this. And then move on with that. Is there anything else in particular from the camp that you want to take with you on this journey? Sure.
Any of my scrolls, books, anything that I would need, and my reminder would be nice to have with me.
Your reminder. Okay, that's absolutely.
Yeah.
I like the way you phrased that.
Thank you.
And you can reasonably have whatever, like knapsack or handbag or whatever you like to come along. So kind of, you don't have to worry about it right now, but in between the session and the next, decide how your various loot is distributed, like how you're carrying it and whatnot.
Oh yeah, I was thinking of just kind of like just one big cloth with like, a little latch.
A bindle stick.
Okay, so very simple then.
Very extremely simple.
Okay. So even the fellowship's going to have a little bit more intricate carrying situation. Okay.
Travels light.
No, she does. That's fair.
You have to carry Katrin somewhere.
And then most of your history stuff you're going to leave, because you have a lot.
I do. I would say anything that's like relevant to where we're going and who we might be meeting. So there's like some, and also some things on Juramentum and some of their culture, just to like read up, like how people address each other, how they talk, how they have like maybe either like customs would be great as well.
Chicken shoot for the Juramentum soul.
Yeah.
there are treatises written on Juramentum.
You don't. Yeah. It's pretty. You're going to be the person writing the treatises.
Any notes that I've written already.
Okay. No, that's fair. And you would have been taking copious notes the whole time that you were there. Okay.
Baptist Region for Dummies.
And I assume that you're gonna. Do you want to actually bring I know I'm kind of going into some detail of this, but books are rare in this world. So, are you gonna bring a fresh blank book to record this event and your observations on Leptis Regium, or are you going to try to roll that into like a journal that you already have going on?
I want to have like the journal so far, and then transcribe it later in a more like substantial, like streamlined.
That's kind of what I was wondering if you were going to. Okay.
Oh yeah.
But okay.
Same brain. Fair
enough. Same brain. One brain cell.
Here's the crazy, just mind to paper, and then we'll be like, okay, what does this actually mean?
Okay.
Just.
No, I feel it. That's good.
Yeah.
So you're ready on time. You actually see Trisley leading a discussion amongst some of the younger minds.
That neatly dovetails.
With
so initially, I was just kind of tagging along. I want to understand these people, their strange ways, knowing that I have played a very key role in a ritual that I do not comprehend, but I am seeking to, because I still have some mixed feelings about all of that. So tagging along Mitra, asking questions, watching, and then when that moment presents itself, that is the kind of thing that I just...
When the moment comes, you swoop in.
But I want to listen. I don't want to interrupt.
Okay. Make a wisdom save for the beloved.
Ooh.
Your wisdom's got to be through the roof.
13 on the die?
Okay.
It's a 31. She's quite wise.
Massive brain.
A steady, profound flow of warmth and home and acceptance, of bone and starlight and immense intellect that is now inexorably, irrevocably part of your very chosen essence, literally buoying up your willpower, filling you. All that you understand means hello.
Awesome.
And I take in a breath. I savor it. I really sink into the moment.
They don't. So like you hear, if you were not specifically watching for this, you would miss it. There's just a flick and then back to the children and to the younger teens that are there as they go through essentially history and pretty deep cuts. You don't really have the context for it, but you start to, you're like, well, it just starts where it starts.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you start listening it. You make a note to ask Mitra about the Great Diaspora.
Yeah.
And then said with a kind of enormous warmth and also yearning in your mind. You're a bit of a distraction.
And I turn to go the other way.
And you hear behind you. Beloved, did I say something? Oh, no, I'm just remembering. I'm just remembering one of the homilies that, beloved, they're all kind of staring at them.
Mitra just immediately nudges Griff, just...
It doesn't matter.
4'1" Mr. Universe flexing.
I kick Grip.
And there was a slight blush, and one of the bad things about having bone white skin is
Trust me, I know.
So this is kind of a balm in the... Like, he was feeling, like, apologetic, remorseful. One, for having nearly disrupted the ritual. Two, for having caused the physical harm. Even though it's in the context of love and, like, there's still, like, some type of feelings on it. But, like, this feels, like, very cleansing in such a way. Like, there's not even a question that would be...
Beloved.
Against me.
Why are the slaves allowed the voice?
A very important question. And one we have considered at length. It's technically beyond the scope of this lesson, but... 1. Look at them. Do they wear collars now? Well, no. Ergo. That means therefore in old speak. Ergo, therefore. They're not slaves? Very good. And if they are not slaves, then what are they? Members? They are part of us. They still serve, each to their capacity and many needs. Look around this camp. And those perspectives, within them may be hidden the gem that we need. We do not know. We have left our ancestral home. All of you, you know this. Your little bodies have had to travel in pain and difficulty more than the adults, such as I am. And there are a few little chuckles and smiles at that. Some of them are even already taller than Drizzly.
Huge grip.
But you have done beyond any expectation or anything that any mortal could ask. Well, that's because it's the maiden. Just so. And it is up to us that the pain that you have suffered, which is real and not to be dismissed, that it matters. All of it. Always. That is my sacred promise. Volley. Volley.
Gets up with that effortless grace. Turns around. Walks right past you. But somehow there's a waft of invitation as they head to the camp gate. You don't even have to turn around, even rocking your 7 wisdom, to feel weighty, to feel the heavy weight of disapproval in the back of your head from Justakar Mirza as he watches this interaction. The camp's pretty small, and you feel like he's aware of where Beloved is at all times. Just it's kind of a subroutine going on in the back of his head, kind of like with Ashtiani.
I find him very bothersome, yet I am enormously grateful for him.
Well?
You're Justakar.
Of course. It pleases me. It warms me that you can hold a contradiction.
It is challenging, but less so now. With a smile.
Beloved looks at you for a little bit.
I was very much enriched by our time together, Agrippa. I hope you can say the same.
Beyond words.
Literally.
Literally. I'm so sorry. I almost couldn't.
For what?
You asked me to respect the ritual. I wanted to. I tried so hard.
And you did.
Only because Mitra. And even then, I wanted to kill him. There's parts of me I have not yet tamed.
And
perhaps I never will.
You took the words out of my mouth. I told you, we all serve a function here. There are no mistakes. Mitra, reprieved. Mitra, you are here to remind us, to ground us, to bring clarity when there is chaos. It is hardly shocking that you did your job, that you fulfilled your role when the moment came, and no doubt will again and again and again.
And it would be my honor every time.
Why do you think they are the one to go with thee? Not Mirza, Not the fist. Not myself. I will admit, lowers their voice so that really like only the three of you can hear it, and the other people are kind of doing that thing where they're mentally pulling back. They just shift back a couple inches, but they're not there now. I have had sensations running riot within me since we parted. I can smell everything that you described before. Powerfully. It makes me... I want to weep when the intensity of it... Is that you? Is that what being a twined soul with you will be?
It is a fire that burns. It consumes. And it destroys. But it also creates. It also warms.
It warms. It warms.
That is the knife's edge upon which I must balance my will. And I don't think I can do it alone. I know I can't.
Does it feel wrong to call me beloved?
It feels deeply right, but also less than what you are to me.
May I offer thee a title in return? In my native tongue. In my mother's tongue. The word beloved would be Habibe. If you permit it, with your blessing, I would like to call you that.
Would honor me.
Then honor me thusly. Come back, Habibe, and we will speak more upon thy return.
Habibe. Seeing.
And there's a shudder through them, and you know they want to hold you, to be next to you, to smell you. But they are the beloved of the Death Tamers of Troupe Valley. And so, with a nigh preternatural serenity, their hands, a slight inclination of the head,
Mirroring in kind.
turns to you. Be well.
As your beloved.
No stupid pain.
I will avoid it if I can.
All right.
Nice, dude.
And as like they're walking away,
Yeah, you
Mitra is
get-
just like wrapping her arm around Grip and going like, "Oh, Habibi!"
Dude, I can't wait till Titus hears that, dude. Golly. Habibi.
Hello, like, okay.
Habibi.
So,
Hello, Habibi. Habibi. Beloved
good to
Habibi.
see you blush a little bit over there, Toby.
Yeah, dude. I don't have much beard anymore.
Yeah.
That sunburn is coming through, bro. What's the fist up to? No, I'm kidding.
So, we...
Devran, where's Mag at?
You're gonna... Actually, no, I don't want to spoil that surprise yet, Sydney. Ask me next session about your satchel.
Okay.
I need to write it down so I don't forget this.
It's a Prada of holding.
It's Gucci. It's Gucci best for my Habibis.
So I'm gonna say there are many things to tend to, and we're gonna we're gonna move along because I know better than to go around this table. We're not gonna make it, y'all. No, we'll make it. We'll be okay.
We'll make it.
And I'm gonna say that you took, unless you veto this as the player Corey, I'm gonna say that you probably cracked the journal, cracked the grammatical, and just took.
I was gonna go into the
Kithki
area.
Okay.
Pretty public because they left me to my own devices, and there's a killer out there still.
Mm-hmm.
So
you probably don't want to be going off to dim alleys.
So it would have been with the grannies, or if not available there, then in the Kithki main quarters where I was more public, and I would crack the journal.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, you find yourself at the healing hall, and much like most emergency services, the good majority of the time, you're kind of waiting around, and so you start to get a sense of like the deep bonds that get formed by these healers. Many women, some men as well. Some humans now also have joined them, and there's an ease, a sharing, a commingling that would have it's just unthinkable in Sahar, and yet it's easy. There the Kithki were snatched up as slaves and prizes and status symbols.
Yeah.
Here, though, they just kind of, give you a friendly nod. Somebody might come up to you and, press some water into your hands, some Colin fruit infused water or something,
Thank you. But I will definitely focus on my curiosity.
And then I'm picturing you sitting on the steps and kind of reading, something like that. Because
exactly.
You feel the breeze, you feel Wira, caress your cheek. That's when you realize something that has thrown you off a bit. It smells different here. Not bad, actually, quite redolent, quite lovely, but not anything like what you know that Wasa has this supernaturally keen scent, but you wonder if it doesn't impact you too. You hear the steps kind of going through, and why don't you make your first give me a raw intelligence check, and let me see how you
give it to us.
Intelligence.
Just like baby.
Okay.
14 on the die.
Yep.
Or total.
14 on the die. Oh, it'd be 16.
16 total. Okay.
Nice.
Okay. You start to kind of grope around. There actually is a skill for this, but you don't have it, so it's pretty damn specialized. Basically, like linguist.
Yeah.
Right. So you start going through it, and you're like, okay, all right. And on your first pass, you just look through, and essentially try to get used to Arwasa's her symbology and her notation,
ordering,
her notation system, and how she chose to denote certain things. Because you do know Talum, you do, or you do know Old Speak. Be careful to say Old Speak, but yeah, it's the actual name of the language is Talum. So you're going through, and you think you can do this. It's gonna be really hard. I mean, you've never done that before, but you think it's possible. You think it's within your reach.
I've done other hard things before.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Few torches of that.
Marcus, you're awoken.
You don't know where you are.
Daddy. Yeah. It'd be so funny.
And Ubs.
I knew it.
She kind of kisses you awake.
What's going on?
She leans next to you. That man is you.
Which one?
The one, Andros.
Perfect. All right.
You want me to tell him you're sleeping?
No. I'll be getting up. I'll be up personally.
Okay. She gets up, and you hear chatting with the technically the highest status beacon in Juramentum, although in Juramentum the religious hierarchy is quite loose. And he also was a former inquisitor of the Church of Light, who sussed out frauds and the like. And his words from what seems like a lifetime ago still ringing in your ears. Ring in your ears as you get ready. Are you a prideful man? And you collect yourself, splash a bit of water on your face. You have a slight headache, but you have a slight headache from being roused from a deep sleep, but you do feel that just edge of gray-faced exhaustion staved off. Yeah.
Yay.
Before I head out, I'm going to offer a quick prayer. Deus Tue, allow my eyes to see truly in this conversation.
Okay. And you feel your mind divinely order itself. The thoughts come sharper. Even your hearing, in a way, in a sense, and certainly your empathy, as you become more able to read people, situations, energies. You go out.
Battle. Bacon.
Blessed day, then.
Blessed day.
I suppose we should be walking and talking?
I think we should be.
Yes. Leaving pretty soon, no?
I think we should be, yes. And true.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll be seeing you on the grass. You will be.
I reach out to grab her hand. Just hold it for a second.
She holds it. She says, don't be gone so effing long this time, eh?
I will do everything in my power. I promise you. I promise you. Love you.
Love you too. I'll talk to the family, I will.
I want to see Sevilla before I go.
No, you ain't.
Yeah, point.
She's out in the fields now.
Thank you.
I'll talk to her. And she grabs you and kisses you passionately.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
Before,
you grab those around.
before you go. Ooh. And then Andros smiles, turns his eyes away, so he's not intruding on the private moment between husband and wife, and actually starts slowly walking ahead to give you a little bit of breathing space.
Just spend a little bit of time with her. Nothing really needs to be said at this point, just a moment. So.
Grip and Tristly may be twined chosen souls who can telepathically communicate with one another.
Oh, that's all?
However, in its own way, Alba is no less your soul, made of your soul. And without another word, she hands you everything that you need for the trip. And she's made sure to take a second change of clothing, wash it, stitch it.
All the things.
While you were sleeping, yeah. Hands it over to you, and she puts your favorite from your favorite bush of Colin fruit, like a ripe fat Colin fruit on top of everything.
Oh,
okay.
His world's best husband on this.
Yeah. As soon as she can read. As soon as she can read.
It just looks like that. It's just Marcus stitched on with a bunch of little kids around him.
Kiss her hand. And then head up.
And I'm going to say that you already, obviously you would have said hello to your kids and all the goodbyes and everything. But yeah, that I'm sure that would have been happening. Okay. So as you're rolling back, your younger children are confused, but they seem willing to take Livius's lead.
Mm-hmm.
And
how is he actually?
A little guarded isn't the right word, but a little gun shy, but more present.
Okay.
Now. And now that things are better between you and your wife, your oldest son seems to have decided that's okay. He can let his guard down a little bit. He's probably going to see you off as well because he's going to want to say goodbye to his new friend Devran.
Very cool.
I was just thinking that before I leave, I was definitely going to swing by there for sure.
Yeah, I think you would have said, hey, we're going to leave at the dusk, et cetera.
Gotcha. I'll jog to catch up to Andros.
Okay. As you're walking, as this conversation takes place, you're kind of be, going up, going up, walking up through here, and eventually past the keep, get to the portal, to the docks and all that. Well, I had a mighty fine, long conversation with Beacon Gas.
How's he doing?
Well, he I'm struggling, Marcus.
I'm struggling too.
I'm struggling.
Everything that happened at the island was nothing that I expected it to be. Every preconception I had ever had about who I was and what I was meant to do was obliterated by the trials that awaited for us at that island. I don't know what to do really right now. Aside from accept the path that's been chosen for me, tell you directly that who I thought in good faith had given me this divine power hadn't. And I have seen evidence to show that. But I still believe how I believed for all those years.
Ave, Beacon. Ave. Smiles. A couple other people, and he's basically fending people off as he's being polite and present, but he's cutting the conversations very short as you're walking to try to keep focus on you.
Beacon, I like you. I like you so much. I was excited to prove to you that I was who I was.
I know. And that's what kind of made me a little cautious. Seemed a little overeager.
But it was earnest.
Aye.
My family is struggling right now, as one might expect. I have told all of them to follow their own heart. I have made it clear that he is real. He is.
What a question.
Which one? Am I prideful, man? I'm sorry.
That's now we're kind of, hold up. Now we're kind of at the crux, aren't we? At the wick of the candle, as it were. Beacon Gas, he reminded me, of course I knew this, but he really reminded me again and again that the Lord of Light was the head of the pantheon of Same, but not the only one. That there had been other gods and goddesses down the ages that have been part of it. Some of them now. You know the term Numina?
No.
Well, you're not a patrician, so it wouldn't surprise me, or a sage, or really anything. You're a pig farmer from this obscure little village out in the middle of nowhere, Marcus.
And proudly so at that.
I'm proudly so. And why not?
If you do something well, take pride in it.
The Numina are they're the gods that are so old they don't even have names anymore. And so out of that Numina, I looked and I prayed and I asked, but there ain't no Tawea. But maybe there is.
May I don't know the protocol here. I want to show you and allow you to feel what I can channel, but I don't want it to be construed as an attack or trying to dissuade you. I just want you to feel what I feel, Beacon.
That wouldn't be proper either.
I know.
Because then I might be under undue influence.
I know, which is why I don't know how to prove to you. Oh, that's not the right word.
Thank you. Hold that. Hold the gate. Aye, Beacon.
Beacon, I don't know what the future holds for us, but when I get back, with whatever news comes, can we sit down and have a real proper conversation about this? With Gaius, with me, with you, with even Constance, if you feel it is the appropriate response.
Lord of Light. Yes.
I look behind me.
Step by painful step, agony trailing in her wake.
My lady, Is she close, or is she just walking through the air?
She is shuffling toward, supported by Kithki aunties. And people are coming up. Yep.
Oh, I'd be with her.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. I'd be, yeah. I think it would be not good for them to see us together walking.
She had tried to sneak out and steal a march on you, but she's too slow.
No way. Sorry, sis.
She's too slow.
Yeah.
And so when you come,
get back here. Yeah.
When you come and help support her on her way over to the docks to see you off.
Yeah, I would think it'd be very similar to like
she leans
odd callback, but FDR when he was walking with his son, so he's proving that he could still walk completely by his own. But I'm making it so it looks like obviously it's making it easier on her, but so she still has that kind of pride that she's doing it on her own.
The city watches, holds its breath. This is the first time the lady has been out and seen. There were all kinds of rumors. It'd been just long enough that all kinds of stuff had started flying around, of course.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens. Mitra, Grip, you see this sight. Wasa comes back and says, and had just a quick whisper to you of, I have news, it will keep. But the Anne says yes. And
I lean over to Livia and I kiss her on the cheek and I go, I think we're going to be okay.
She just takes your arm. She takes your arm and squeezes it. She's, right now, you know her well enough to know that she is just completely focused on every step, just trying to get exactly to where she needs to be, and to still have correct carriage, correct bearing, all of that, and not look like she's in agony. And a couple heads whip around, when the gruesome twosome show up.
Jesus, what the hell?
They're starting to get a little.
The circus is here
because we've only been here a couple days.
No, I'm still a novelty.
So people,
We're the weirdos.
The Kithki,
the goth kids.
Some of the obnoxious Kithki come up, and they want to. One of them's like, don't do that, because they want to. Oh, they're kind of out of control. Yes, Toby.
At some point over the torches we had in prep, I was hoping to come up, just some like change of clothes or some kind of cloak or something. Just I'm wearing tattered shorts, which is my preference, to be clear. But I figured it might be best to have a bit of some supplies.
Within reason, we can offline. You and I can haggle about it.
It might be a little.
You can wear Wace's old clothes. It's perfect.
But then my
actually they almost now they're too narrow, but otherwise yes they would.
Oh yeah.
And I was just planning on making for the ship.
Sorry again?
Making for the ship.
Yeah.
Whichever ship we were going to, and familiarizing myself with it, whoever's
A ship.
A ship.
Okay.
Because it had been said that it had already been prepared or was being prepared. Or something like that.
It's something that Livia was working on tirelessly.
It was all of that
Sahara.
crap. Yeah, all of that crap has been exactly
it was all prior.
That was already done. That was already prepped and paid for.
Yeah, we had 60 days of knowing it was this meeting. So.
He just grabs you and he says, I just need to know this. Are you still a prideful man? As the lady shuffles closer and closer to you.
And I almost seemed like I was about to start talking the same time. I was just like, listen, I was a prideful man.
I know.
Was a very prideful man.
And he's like grabbing your forearm and leaning almost head to head.
I am humbled now. I am humbled in who I have been chosen by. Pride is not my way, but I take pride in what I'm doing and what I'm going to accomplish. That is all. I do not have a moral superiority the way I did before. I do not have a misguided conception of what I was going to do. I'm just me now, following the path that's laid.
Still gripping you tightly, but kind of reels back a little bit. Nah. You're better than what you were. I needed to hear that.
Thank you.
Get on.
Thank you.
I got praying to do. And he takes a step back.
As do I.
There's a few other small interactions, to be sure. This time, when a portion of this battered, exhausted but unbroken city sees its leadership off, minus Livia. Your sister is there to see you off. Marcus's family is there to see you off. Livius gives you Devran just a huge hug.
I want to say a couple things to him.
You get a friend.
Livius, you're so lucky to have a father that you have. That I wish I had. Know that. Don't take it for granted.
I'm kind of getting that I'm pretty damn lucky I am to have father.
Will you do me one more favor?
Yeah.
He pulls out a deck of cards. You keep these for me. Safe.
Yeah. Doesn't really know what to do, but he takes them.
Thank you.
I'll even clean them for you. Wasted did the best she could in the time she had, you know.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I've not had a chance.
All right, you're gonna keep Fava safe, and keep yourself safe. You will.
Much as I'm allowed to.
All right.
You could say I've been put on probation. He whispers in there.
I don't know the word, but I'm gonna try. Okay, he gives you.
Give him a hug or arm.
He gives you, he gives you another kind of arm, arm in arm, and then hug, and steps back to his mom. You and your son just look at each other.
Yeah.
And he, for whatever reason, Marcus, he seems a little embarrassed all of a sudden. But he's still kind of like stiff. Like the stiffness isn't reluctance. He's just a little embarrassed right now.
Just like hold on and put my hand on his.
Okay.
Aww.
If there's time, can I? If no one is looking, especially Titus, can I speak to Livia for like a tiny bit?
The only moment that you would have is when they have separated, because Titus, you would take control. You would. Kind of take control of the loading of the embarking process, you know. So he's going to know very likely, unless he completely blows the perception check, that you have spoken, but he won't necessarily be able to interfere with in that brief time. Okay.
She'll go up to her and say, "My beloved would like to speak with you, if that is okay. Whenever you have the chance, I believe you have witnessed our maiden. I'm sure she can give you answers." And she'll nod, leave.
Livia just watches you go, and this incredibly eloquent, studied woman has nothing to say.
How'd she know?
Okay. She catches, Livia catches you, and people have instinctively, as happens, they've kind of backed off, and there's a certain distance, in direct proportion to one's dignitas, there's a certain distance that the hoi polloi allow her, and only her, to stand in. And so, perhaps making a point, but also wishing to have a last word with you, she catches you.
Head over to her immediately.
Okay.
Legally as station permits.
Marcus, I have a last question for thee.
Anything?
Perhaps I don't care for the answer. What happened to the Storm's Mare? You came back in a different ship, and much later, nearly a moon late. Briefly, what occurred?
We were betrayed on the island by someone that we gave trust to. That person took that trust, stole away on the boat. The boat, he then killed every member on the boat, and we were left marooned. We found a few stragglers. We put them together, and in rapid-fire succession, was able to create a boat to come home. But by then, the damage was done.
I see. That answers many questions. this traitor's name?
Capio. Capio Secundus.
Noted.
He looks like, from what we saw of him.
Lord and Lady of Light, keep thee on thy journey.
And you, my lady, my friend.
And then Livia, standing tall and proud, undeterred, channeling countless generations of ancestors, with her chin up for once, almost looking like her old self, but fundamentally transformed as well, just watches you as you embark upon the ship.
I would go back while she kind of had that up.
Okay.
Looking at her just like I was looking at her when we were like 11. Wanting to convey that little bit of happiness, not say a word, and put my head against hers. And then turn and go back to the ship.
You feel her. You feel her. And Livia makes a decision in that moment because you did that. Normally I would whisper this to you, but I'm going to say this out loud so that everyone knows. When you return, it's time for me to tell you. And whoever else needs now. You feel her shudder in your arms, and yet she's determined. You also feel that iron will impelling her forward. To know, to learn just what happened in the pantry, where our father met his end. And that...
I'll kiss her.
She kisses you back.
And I go.
Donnie, talk about getting it under the wire.
Oh, shit.
Because you helped that NPC make that decision that I've been very carefully weighing for about 6 episodes now.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and give yourself inspiration.
Yeah! It's been so long!
That earned it, yeah. All right, faraway friends, there we are. Exciting things going on in character, exciting things going on out character. I mean, we are very close now to, what is it, 1,300? Yeah! 13,000 now.
Oh, yeah.
Don't do that, Angel. Don't do that, Angel. To 13,000.
We got 130 guys.
We are still kicking about and planning a 10,000 subscriber party. So
Yeah, 20,000 by the time we
it'll
actually
probably
do
be
it.
it'll probably be about 20,000 by the time we get our act together over here at Darkeport. But
Yes.
there will be something coming soon. So look out for that. If you're not out on the Discord channel already, there is a link in the description. Come hang out in Discord. That's where a lot of the stuff gets passed. Ask questions. No, seriously. Post art. Look at the stuff. That beautiful screen, beautiful thumbnail is there that mentioned for last. Yeah. And we hope to see you there and elsewhere. And as you go on about your journey, stay safe and stay curious, y'all. Thank you so much.
Vote for MVP. We'll see you next week.
Vote for MVP in the comments.